Hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where today I'm looking at multi-boxing in the World of Warcraft and using a program called HotKeyNet to do it for free. Now, what do I mean by free? I mean that the multi-boxing program doesn't cost any money. You still have to pay for the World of Warcraft. You have to pay for however many accounts that you want to have, but you don't have to pay extra in order to get them to work as a team. There are multi-boxing programs that make it very easy to send key commands to multiple clients, but they come with some fees, and depending on which one you find, you may find the fees are kind of steep and not really, at least to me, they weren't justifiable. I could understand paying $40, $50, $60 for a good application that does something, but I absolutely hate these things where now you see vendors saying, oh, you have to activate with my server. Oh, you have to check every time you run it. Oh, if my server is down, you can't use the program you paid for. Oh, and I'm going to yank your license at the end of every year, and you're going to pay me again and again and again for the same thing you already have, like a utility bill. Come on, I'm already paying by month to play the World of Warcraft. You know, just give me a program. Well, this guy apparently had the same thought, and he's like, you know what, the heck with those other guys. You could just have this one for free. It doesn't cost anything. All right, you're like, free? Joe, are you sure about this? I'm like, yeah, it really doesn't cost anything. Now, the fun part is that it will work either with multiple computers, as shown in this example, or you can have multiple clients running the same machine, which is what I'm going to demonstrate. And, you know, it's very simple. There is a little zip file to download. Install is kind of a misnomer because you don't actually install anything, you just run this executable and that's it. It doesn't require anything, no registry changes, it doesn't require admin rights. Yeah, I haven't had any problems with it doing any bad stuff, so I've been very, very happy. It doesn't cost anything. So here's, whoops, there we go. There's my Blizzard launcher. And so I've got my WoW client up. And so this is the HotKeyNet. I've downloaded and unzipped it, and see I've got the current version, which is 2.10. And I wrote a script in order to get things running, because when HotKeyNet pops out originally, it doesn't have any settings set up for it, so it doesn't do anything. And that's because it's designed so that you can tell it, HotKeyNet, I want you to map these keys to these clients. Now, if you're like me and you just want to use it to play the World of Warcraft, I wrote a script for you. You can have it. It doesn't cost anything. And I'll explain how this script works, but first I'll show you where you can get it. So if you don't want to type that, I have a website. This is our guild website, redoctober.tv, and you just click here under Files, and you'll find this script available for download right here. Since it's a regular TXT file, you don't have to worry about any evil code or anything. Text files can't do anything bad to you. It's just, you can just download the text and then run it. Okay, so how does it work? Well, first of all, let's get up another WoW client. I mean, okay, so we have one hunter here. Why don't we get two? Now, it's up to you how many WoW clients you have. In my case, I probably have too many. I've spent a lot of money on the World of Warcraft, so here is my, now normally I don't play WoW in a little window like this. This is just to demonstrate so that you can see multiple clients being controlled at the same time. So here I'm going to go to WoW 3 because I have a few clients on my account. Go ahead and minimize that. Since I'm doing all this with Windows on top of Windows, it's probably going to look terrible. Oh, and notice that the sound is in stereo, so just to make things easier, I like to disable the sound on the second account. And let's see, here we go, 2 feathers. And so these are my little demonstration characters here. Okay, so here the girls are, and they're side by side with their vicious pets, Heckle and Jekyll. And if you know who they are, you are old. Alright, so how does HotKeyNet work? Well, here, I'll just click on this thing. It's like, are you sure you want to run this? It's like, sure, why not? You know, and here's the latest version, blah, 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 and I don't care. And now here's where the magic happens. We have to load a script. And in this case, I'm going to load my script, which I wrote. what my script does, and in fact here, let's walk through it here real quick, is that it creates two data streams. I just called them Alpha and Bravo because I was lazy. And local indicates that they're both here on the same computer. And I'm sending the information to clients WoW 1 and WoW 2. Now where are WoW 1 and 2? Because I'm looking at these guys and they say World of Warcraft. This is our first problem. When World of Warcraft starts up, all the clients start up with the same name. In order to make this script work, they have to have different names so that it knows where to send things. And let's see. Oh, and then here are the movement keys that I'm mapping. So keys, 1 through 0 plus WASD. The reason I have the WASD keys is that when you're in a battleground, they disable the follow command, which we'll see here in a moment. And then here, of course, this is just the buttons here at the top. Okay, and then see where it says send label Alpha and Bravo. So that means whenever I hit one of these keys, send it to both of these data streams, and the key is whatever I trigger. So, I mean, if you want to get fancy, I could press one key and it actually does a different key on another client. But here I just wanted to, all right, if I press one on both of them, and so forth and so on. All right, so like I said, step one, I have to rename these windows. This can be done by hotkey. So I just go here and let's see, where is it? Rename a window. So you get this little dialog, and as I mouse over the windows, notice that it's showing the name of the window. If I hold down the shift key and, or is it, that was shift? Yeah, it is. Shift and right click. And now it says, all right, give it a new name. Well, I'm going to call you WoW 1. Notice here, it is now changed to WoW 1. Well, this one still says World of Warcraft, so we'll go ahead and we'll change this. This allows me to make these windows unique. So again, it shows me the current name, and I'll call it WoW 2. Perfect. Now both of our windows have different names. That means that they're ready to accept commands. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on hotkey. And let's see. We can have that window down in the corner. It will show us the commands that are being sent. Notice that it loaded up the script. It says it sees all the definitions. There are no errors. It likes my script. And now, here's the magic. For the number 1 key, I have a follow macro that I have set up here for 2 feathers. So when I press number 1, that tells her target 1 feather and follow. And on 1 feather, she just moves. And so it's going to look like she moves a lot, but every time she's going, moo, she's telling, hey, 2, get over here. And so 2 interprets that and follows her. And then here's the other part, fire assist. Haha. This is on the 2 key. I love macros. If you're not familiar with macros in the World of Warcraft, it's basically a series of commands that you can string together and set conditions on so that you can... Oh, good grief, this is annoying me. Here, stop doing that. Ah, Heckle and Jekyll, honestly. And so notice how it says dismount, pet attack. So if they're riding along and we see something and I click fire, they'll jump off their mount. Their pet will attack whatever she's focused on. She focuses on whatever 1 feather is focused on. That's what assist 1 feather means. It's whatever 1 feather is targeting, target the same thing and shoot it. And then here's the cast sequence, which is basically do these commands in this thing. And it has a reset condition, so we start with Cobra Shot, Cobra Shot, Cobra Shot, Concussive Shot, Multi-Shot, and the kill command. And if we change targets or go in and out of combat, or if 5 seconds elapse, wherever you are in this sequence, it resets back to the beginning. That's what a reset condition is. That way we don't get stuck on something like, say for example, paladins have abilities that depend on holy power, and so you have an ability in your sequence that requires 3 holy power, but the target you were building up on died, and then you use the holy power to heal yourself, and now you're stuck on a command that requires 3 holy power and you only have 1 or none. And having a reset condition allows it to go back to the beginning and start building up in order to take advantage of that. Okay, so now you probably want to see these gals actually do something. So I say, moo. And she moves, and notice that 2 feathers immediately start looking at her. And you'll watch, and there are key commands that are being sent over here. So I'm running around here using the mouse, which is just left and right mouse buttons pressed. But if I were to use the WASD keys, notice how they move in unison. Now be aware that when you use WASD, that breaks the follow. So in order to get her to follow me again, I gotta move again, and now here she comes. So if I were to go over here to, let's say, do a little target practice, imagine how nice this is with questing, or even PvP. That flag carrier's getting away with your flag, and he might be able to resist all the fire from a hunter because he's got the most uber ultimate gear ever. But when it's double the hunters, yeah, you can take down most flag carriers. I love Warsong Gulch, or Eye of the Storm, or any of the other ones, or the temple where you're holding onto the orbs. Oh. Alright, so I have this dummy targeted, and I'm controlling 1, and 2 just follows and shoots whatever I shoot. And then if I change my mind, I'm like, no, we need to get this guy now. Then 2 will change targets to that. Now, here's the catch, though. Notice that 2 will shoot anything within her arc, but if I switch over to here... Oh, good. She's still on follow. I was going to say that... okay, here, let's break the follow as an example. So the follow is broken, and I'm targeting something else. 2 wants to target it, and her pet will attack, but she's not over there. And so in situations like this, you'll see that I'll get the girls together and then use WASD in order to turn them, and then start shooting again. And so that's how you get them back at a sync. So if you're doing PvP or even PvE, you'll have situations where one of them will get stunned and they'll get out of sync. And then here I can just say moo and make her follow me. The pets will do their own silly thing. One other thing to notice is that notice that I've mirrored their commands over here so that matter of fact, here, let's tell these guys passive and passive. Alright, so eventually they will get back over to us. And since everything is mirrored on them, say for example I'm in battle and they need to be healed, one button and they're both healed. Also we have the same button to summon them, and so forth and so on. And so that's like the short version for how you can multi-box. All you have to do is have, well, multiple accounts. You know, the nice thing is that World of Warcraft is offering people the ability to have trial accounts to where you can try out a character for free up to level 20. So if you're curious as to whether multi-boxing is for you, instead of spending a whole lot of money for another account to find out, use a trial account and then see if you like multi-boxing. Don't worry, it doesn't violate the EULA. Blizzard only requires that you're actually playing the account. As long as you're playing it, if this is not automated, I mean, because that's where you get in trouble with the end-user license agreement, is if it automates gameplay to where you can go have dinner and your character is still doing something like mining, killing things, whatever, that will get you banned, absolutely. But being a multi-boxer, well, why is Blizzard going to turn down more money? Although you will, and I'll warn you now, you're going to end up with some multi-box prejudice. I've had people in dungeons report me because they say, you can't do that. And I'm like, no, Sparky, you can multi-box. I've been doing it for years. Nobody cares. Go away. You know. There are a lot of people who feel that it's I don't know, it violates whatever their idea of principles are. Well, that's bully for you. You don't have to multi-box if you don't want to, but you can't get Blizzard to ban me just because you don't like multi-boxers. And oh, speaking of multi-boxing, why don't we see as a demonstration? Well, actually these queues might take a while, and I do have videos posted. I was thinking I could demonstrate zipping into a dungeon or battleground, but you never know what the queue times are going to be like. Sometimes they can take a while, especially as DPS. Oh well, so this is the basics of multi-boxing. If there's any part that was unclear, please let me know, and I'll try to make it more on point. I tried to cover all the bases, but there's always someone who's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, okay, I understand. And sometimes it's just things that I didn't think to explain. I thought, well, surely everybody knows all these things. So it's never a bad thing to ask a question. You'll never be ridiculed, at least not by me. The internet is one big hate machine, so don't worry about what anybody else says. I'm here to help and be a resource. See you next time.